Hey guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you guys each kind of give us a resume of what you've done? Sarah, if you want to start first.
A resume, huh?
Yes, your BJJ journey.
Yeah, I started in judo about 14 years ago, and I trained judo for a few years and then transitioned over to jiu-jitsu. I did most of my training under Gustavo Dantes, got my black belt under Gustavo Dantes, and I coach at his academy in Tempe, the kids, and I do a women's program. And I train with Marcio Andre in Phoenix, so I do my competition training there with him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gabriela?
So I started training about like 10, 11 years ago in Texas when we were living in Texas. And my husband opened a gym when he was still a purple belt, and he was just trying to get me to train. And I didn't want to train, and I did Muay Thai for about a year, and then he finally convinced me. And once I started doing jiu-jitsu, it just felt like I wanted to keep on doing it. So
All right. And Karen?
So I live in Phoenix now. I started training 11 years ago too. So yeah, at first I didn't want to not even try out, but then I fell in love in the first class. And I live at first California, a year and a half, then Minnesota, then Idaho, and now Phoenix. And that's the place I choose to be. We open our own school. It's been a year, in April last year, and I'm not planning on moving out.
Good. Phoenix is lucky to have you.
No, I really I came Phoenix just to visit first. Like end of the year, I remember was like around November, December, and I love it. I love it, like even the summer.
I hear it's like scorching hot in the summer over there.
Yep, but I don't complain because I'd rather have the heat than the cold.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you guys, today we're talking about motherhood and jiu-jitsu, because I think there was a time where it was thought that you couldn't do both. You couldn't compete at a high level and be a mother, but here you guys are just killing it. So we wanted to dedicate an entire episode to that. The first question we have is, how long into your pregnancy did you guys train?
Who wants to?
Yeah, who talks first?
Go ahead, Karen.
Go for it, Karen.
Go.
No, Sarah, you have kids first. Talk you first.
I trained until I couldn't get my toes over my head, but I was training with my son's dad, and the time that he picked another partner and not me, I was like, okay, I guess I'm done training.
I'll hang it up.
Yeah, but I was still coaching and moving, so I was still on the mats every day. It made me feel like made me feel still a part of it, because I was showing moves and stuff. But
did you ever just stop until you actually gave birth?
No, I was coaching at 42 weeks, nothing crazy, but I was showing under overpassing at 42 weeks. I remember.
Heck yeah. Gabriela?
So Monique was my third. So I think usually first time moms, maybe a little bit like I've seen a lot of first time moms in jiu-jitsu, they're kind of like hesitant or afraid because it's their first pregnancy. Cautious. So Monique was my third pregnancy. So it was just like, man, I've already done this before. So I pretty much like trained and rolled till I was like 5.5, 6 months, because my bellies don't pop out until it's like 6.5, 7 months. And I remember I was at Bruno Bosto's because we used to live in Texas, and like I was maybe like 4.5, 5 months, and I'm rolling with one of the girls, and Bruno looks at me and goes, "What?" Tells his student, "She's pregnant. Go easy." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" So I'm like, "Don't tell people I'm pregnant." But like, I think, and I believe I was a purple belt at that point. So you know how to move your body, what positions not to put your baby at risk or anything. So, and then once pretty much like it was harder to touch my toes, my husband's like, yeah, no more rolling. Like he would like let me like drill a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I was always obviously at the gym, but like he's like, no, you're not gonna roll.
Hang it up. Karen?
Yeah, for me it was really different because I was here first, and I mean United States, and then 3 months pregnant 3 months. I was in Brazil. I went to Brazil end of the year, blah, blah, blah. And I was trained because I didn't tell nobody because I don't want people rolling with me, like being afraid of hurt me.
Right.
You know,
right.
and the doctor here in the United States told me, you can train, keep your normal life. So I did. I was training with everybody, guys. He told me if something bad, like gonna happen, you can get hit by a truck. You're not gonna lose the baby with 3 months of. And I'm okay. I trust. Then I went to Brazil, and then I went a doctor in Brazil. Oops, sorry.
Okay.
Someone calling me. Let me decline. And then the doctor in Brazil told me, "Are you crazy? You can't be training someone like you sparring." He was like, "Someone hit you, kick you, like not in purpose, but can happen in jiu-jitsu. You know that
Right.
happened." And it got me afraid of. So, and I tried for the couple, like the like 2 months, I was trying warm up, drilling, but I get so mad that I couldn't roll. And I took time off, really, of teaching, being on the mat, because I couldn't control. I think I was really stressed that I couldn't do the best part. It's rolling. even I want to be pregnant, even I want the kid. It was a mix of emotion, and I was afraid of being on the mat rolling. So I didn't roll 3 months. I really like 3 months and a half, and I didn't roll at all. But I was at the end. So 3 months until like 6 months. That was the craziest time, like crazy 2 months, because I was like up and down, all the emotions. I want to be, but then I don't want to be because I want to roll, blah, blah, blah. And then with 6 months, around 6.5, I started teaching again and like take the good part off and not be complaining about it. I think all the hormone went crazy. I was a crazy pregnant, like woman. I was, poor husband. Now I can see. Because by the time I didn't understand myself, I want to be pregnant. Why I'm so mad that I cannot do stuff? Because since I started it, so I never had a break. I never had like injury that I was out of like the mat for months. Right. So that's my experience. I didn't roll at all, but at the end of the pregnancy, when my belly was really big, I was teaching.
So good. So you're still involved.
And I still involved it, but like between 3 months and 6 months, I wasn't, because it didn't make me happy. Be around the mat and not be able to really train because I was afraid.
Okay.
But I kept working out to keep like my mind in a good place.
Well, and that's another question. How long did it take for you guys to get back to your pre-pregnancy bodies, or have you? I know when I had my daughter, that life was way gone. So were you able to get back to training shape pretty fast on, Sarah?
Yeah, reasonably. I didn't win the world championship or anything a few months later. I mean,
I know, right? Karen's like
someone else on the call, but yeah, normal person speed. Went back to normal. So yeah, 5 or 6 months. I feel like okay, maybe we're somewhere near normal speed.
Okay,
but
good.
Yeah, I feel like it's a year later until you can sleep the way you slept before you had a baby. I can sleep on my stomach wherever I want again. My body doesn't go back right until it takes a while for sure. I mean, you might be training at that speed, but you're probably not doing the same. So anyway, there's more impressive comebacks.
Gabriela.
So I'm still not in shape. I still have the baby fat on me. So I feel like I kind of lost a good amount of weight when I first had the baby.
Yeah.
Maybe like a year in, I was kind of getting close to my pre-pregnancy weight.
Okay.
But I feel the older you get, the harder it gets. So I'm 42. So it's not like when I had my first baby and I gained and with my first child, I gained almost, I almost got up to like 200 pounds and I managed to like come back down to like 120, 125. But with Monique, the older you get, and I didn't really gain that much weight with her, but my body completely changed because it was my third baby. Okay. And as you get older, your metabolism slows down. So even though like I eat healthy, I train jiu-jitsu pretty much every day, like I still don't feel that I've been able to come back. Like, man, I've been fighting medium for a while. And when I was like from white to blue, I probably did like light and featherweight. So, and like worse with the quarantine, like I think I gained like more weight. So
Oh yeah, I'm definitely growing
it's
sideways
a struggle.
over here.
It's a struggle.
Karen, how about you?
I say I wait for the doctor to give me like, oh, you can train. Like after a month, I was training. And I think genetics helps too. I'm always being like a more like a skinny person.
Mhm.
Like yeah, a month after I was training, but I regret, because I was training. I came back like training hard because I missed that so much.
Mhm.
But I also was not like healthy. It was not like a good time to start training that hard. I was not smart. Like my whole body hurt. I didn't have any pain when I was pregnant. But
Mhm.
after like 1 month after when I started training, my groin hurt. I couldn't close guard. I couldn't open guard. Like I cried almost every day because I couldn't feel my body like it was before.
Right, right.
I used to do pull-ups right after training, work grips, like my whole life being training. We used to do pull-ups after training when you're tired. The first day I did like 4 and I cried because I was able to do 4. And I was like, what the heck? Because I really didn't feel anything when I was pregnant, difference.
Mhm.
But a month after when I went to train, I was like, fuck,
Mhm.
what did I do with myself? So I started trying to catch up so hard, and that was really stressful because I was sleepless with the newborn, breastfeeding all the time. So my weight went down pretty fast. I think that's why. But if I had another kid, plus I'm older now, if I ever had another kid, I won't restart that fast. And I had a good year after. At least it was
Yes, you
4.
did.
I think she was. But I didn't plan on. I just want to be back. I was just
Mhm.
happy to be there. I didn't thought I could win against all those girls. I didn't think about it. I just want to have a like good mat. I just want to be ready.
Okay.
I did everything I could. I trained hard. I eat good. I keep breastfeeding at least all the time. I breastfeed. She almost 2 years old. Then I was like done. But yes, I didn't plan on. I just want to do what I love to do. I love working out hard. Like I have a really like it's really fun for me to get ready.
Okay.
Competition was just like, let's see. And that was a good year. I think that's why I took a lot of pressure out of my shoulders because jiu-jitsu was not my priority at all. It was Alicia, my daughter.
Good.
I think that's why I had a good year. I just want to be back.
Good for you. So it wasn't necessarily a goal to compete. It was just getting back to the mats.
Like compete for sure, but it was not the goal. I didn't know I could win, so I was not even thinking about winning. I
Okay.
just want to compete. I love compete. Like you see Sarah like with the baby all over. She had like a schedule like mine. We teach all day. We be on the mat all day. Her son is on the mat since he born. We had the same like kind of lifestyle. It's not easy. It's hard, but some people I think like when you want to, you're gonna do whatever you can.
That's true.
I just want that so bad that I didn't thought about the problems, the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be back.
Did you guys deal with any postpartum at all? And if you did, how did you get back to training? I know I definitely had it, but this was way before I started jujitsu and I was just constantly in a fog. So how did you guys deal with it if you had it?
I think I had because I cried pretty much every day, every night
Mhm.
when I was just baby, and I don't understand because I didn't understand by the time because I was so happy when I look at her, but I also was like a deep was so sad. I don't even know how to explain the feeling. I
Yeah.
felt my mom was here with me from Brazil, but I felt so like lonely. It's like and I felt that for a couple weeks, but training always got me in a good place. I think if I didn't was back training like hard right a month after, I would have like worse. But
Right,
jiu-jitsu
right.
always saved me. And then when I'm on the mat, I kind of forget all of my problems. I'm not the kind of person, if I had a problem, I cannot train. No, I can't train because that's the only time I kind of forget about it.
Right.
So it's my therapy, it's my everything. When I don't train jiu-jitsu, it's worse.
Yeah.
So I had that like maybe until she was 2-3 months. Like I felt like deep, like really sad. Now I know
Mhm.
a little bit more because I read more stuff about it, and it's pretty normal. And
Absolutely.
but I'm pretty sure it still saved me from that feeling because I was so tired. I have no time to.
Oh yeah.
No time to think about any of that. What
Yeah.
about you, Sarah?
I can't say I recognize the feeling that Karen's describing. You know, so I would say I was one that didn't have it. There may have been something in there that I didn't pick up on, or something that was happening, but I can't say I can recognize the feeling that it's being described. You know, so
Right.
I don't think I have a good perspective on what that going
That
through
feels like.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Gabriela?
I for me, it was mostly having a C-section with her. So it was like the pain of the C-section, and my second child, I had a C-section as well, but I was able to recuperate a lot faster. And even though, like, as soon as the doctor's like, okay, 6 weeks, you can probably ease up into your regular thing. And I started training at 6 weeks. It was just like the same, like you have that pain, your body doesn't feel the same. So I think that more than like kind of like the postpartum depression was what was making me like depressed and like, oh, am I gonna be able to lose this weight? Like I can't train like I used to before. And so that was like more of a struggle for me. Because I feel that with my first son, I had more of a postpartum depression, and it lasted for a little bit longer because I was a lot younger. But this, with my third pregnancy, I felt it was more like I was like hard on myself for like trying to get back into shape, and am I ever going to be able to compete again? So that was like the harder part for me with my third pregnancy.
Sounds like it was all kind of flooding in.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're out of that. So, knowing that you've gotten through that, how do you guys like balance being a mom and jujitsu? Because you guys don't just train jujitsu. I mean, you guys teach jujitsu, you compete in jujitsu. How do you do it all? I mean, does it take a village? That old saying, or are you guys just super moms doing it all by yourselves?
Yeah.
We do, I like
Everybody.
my side here. I have no village.
Like it's
It's just my husband and I on this country, like, and we make it work. We bring the baby everywhere with us, like everywhere. We had to be at the
so
gym all day,
training, all that stuff. Good.
all the time. Like we did took some time off of training together because when I was on the mat, he need to watch the baby. When like he was on the mat, I had to watch the baby. At first, like little, like we didn't want nobody watching her. We don't have nobody watching her. But yeah, when you have no option, you find a way.
You just make it work.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You make it work. That's it.
Sarah?
Yeah, I'm lucky I have my parents close. It makes a huge difference,
Yeah, it does.
I
and
wish every day.
yeah, it's night and day, like I asked, you want to go to Disneyland or you want to go to grandma's like
That's
For sure.
awesome. And cheaper.
yeah, so we have that option, but we got a little taste of what Karen goes through with COVID, like having him and no grandma, no school, and no that just us back and forth, and yeah, it's like it's crazy, and
it's tougher during that COVID moment because you also didn't have jujitsu really, unless you were kind of doing it.
it's true.
In the garage.
Yeah.
But yeah, and my son won't let us train. My son will not let us train.
And how old is
he
he?
has to be sleeping. He's three. So
Okay, yeah, he's at that age.
gotta be sleeping if we're gonna be doing anything. Oh, mom, get off my mom. So I'm definitely lucky. I have more of a village here,
Good for you.
and yeah, I think it's so helpful.
Mhm.
But yeah, it changes. You really got to schedule that moment of your training. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while it can be twice a day, but usually it's once. Like that's my training, very focused training, very hard training, and then that's it. And then that evening's with your son or whatever it is. So
Right. Good. So it sounds like you schedule it pretty well then.
yeah, we have to schedule more, right? Man, before,
It had to be.
before my son, it was like
Yeah.
Fine by the seat of your pants.
yeah, it would just be to go prepare for my next training. I go
Mhm.
eat, I go sleep, I do some work,
Yep.
I relax, I take a sun, and then I train again, you know, but it's okay.
Yeah,
You know?
good for you. Gabriela?
So I mean, I'm lucky that I have two older boys. So, and it's always, I mean, we've always had a gym.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you have to balance a lot of stuff. So as a gym owner, you have to balance that. If new customers are coming in, having a baby, you have to balance that. So same thing, like we would take turns. Like obviously my husband was teaching. And then like, if I wanted to drill, I'd probably like wait for her to fall asleep. I mean, I think when they're babies, it's easier almost because it's like you nurse them, put them to sleep, let's go train, you know? It's when they start like walking and like being more like mommy needy that it like gets hard. You'll be like training, they'll get up and they're like, woo! You know, you're like, oh damn. But then like my son's always been good. And I guess like also when she was little, you know, we were in our gym in Texas, like I trusted a lot of the people there because they have already had been with us. So it'd be like, oh, I'll hold her so you can train. So I guess in that sense, it was a little bit easier because I always had people that were like willing to just like, you know, and I even ref, like when we were in Texas, like I'd be reffing and like I'd ref the fight to win matches, tournaments and stuff. Would be like, yeah, bring the whole family. So I would actually have like different moms like grab Monique and like take care of her while I was like
awesome.
reffing. And then like on my break, I'd go nurse her and then I'd come back and somebody else would take her. So she's super sociable because she's like used to being around like just, you know, anybody like that we know that would like watch her. And I think in the sense it's easier because she's my third again.
Mhm.
Like, you know, Karen's a new mom, Sarah's a new mom. Sometimes if it's not your parents, you're like, it's my baby. Like, but with a
Right.
third kid, you're like, oh my God, just, I know you're not going to steal her, take her.
I was like that since like even at the gym, a lot of moms like with 2, 3 kids, they always like ask if you need help, let me help her, let me like help you like so you can train. But I was like, no, thank you, no, thank you.
I got it.
But it's so frustrating because you have a schedule, right? You have a
Mhm.
schedule, you plan all day, blah blah blah. Even the time you're gonna breastfeed, but the baby doesn't care. When you like you eat at the right time, blah blah blah, you get all ready. When you put your foot in the mat, baby or cry or baby needs, and you just like, sorry, not training. Or when you just start training, you have half row and they start crying or stuff like that. But my daughter, thank God, they said girls are easier. If I put a TV or iPad or something, she's gonna be there like at least for 30 minutes. If she saw me rolling with someone else, she kind of want to say something, but she had the TV on. So
Right. She was sidetracked.
yeah, so I need to find a show that she likes, and then I go train. And I don't let her watch any TV or iPad, anything, all day, because I'm gonna train. So if I train in the morning, I let her watch in the morning, because like Sarah said, it's like it's rare the time I can train twice a day.
Right.
So I'm happy with one time a day with a good trade. So if I'm training in the morning, she watch TV in the morning. If I'm training in the evening, then I let her watch TV in the evening, because then she's gonna be like she won that.
Right.
That's
right.
my trick. That's my trick with her. But she let me train. Thank God.
So it all worked out. We have a gal at our gym, her and her husband. They have I don't know how old she is, maybe 4 or 5. Her name's Jordan. And honestly, she runs that gym. She really does. And it's nice when your gym is a village and they're happy to watch your kid while you're out there training. So Gabby, the fact that you have that, you're so lucky. It's awesome.
Oh yeah. I think harder than having a kid, like for my training, was more of like being a gym owner, because like a lot of the times if you have a new student, then you have to take the time and like show them more basics, or you know, just be more of an owner. So it's like you're not going to turn around and like start doing all these crazy moves on a new student, you know. Or even if you're training and somebody walks in, like we've always been like super family gym. And it's been hard for us to have like, you know, like an office manager. Like I'm the office manager. So if somebody walks in, it's like, okay, I'll be back, you know, and I have to go, you know, be talk to the people coming in and like talk to them about the school. So I feel more than like sometimes my children, at least Monique, interrupting my training. It's been like kind of rough managing like as a gym owner and all of that. So
Good. So What kind of example do you guys want to set for your kids, whether it's in jujitsu on the mat or just in life in general? Sarah?
Yeah, so man, I'm really, really big on modeling. Like, I don't think if I achieve something great in jujitsu, my son will. Like, I'm not modeling win jujitsu or whatever, or lose jujitsu. But yeah, that work ethic. But he's going to apply it to whatever he wants to apply.
Right.
It might be jujitsu, it might not. I think about that a lot. Like, you know, like Karen putting in the time to do something like win a world championship, the sacrifices that must have gone on for that. And her daughter's going to watch that. Whether her daughter goes on to win a world championship, who knows? But man, whatever she does as a school teacher, as an astronaut, as a doctor, whatever she decides to do with her parents as the model of how to work hard and achieve, man, that's amazing. So I hope that I can bring that to give that to my son, be that kind of model for my son. You know, like, I don't think he's gonna like look at my jujitsu resume and be like, I want to be like mom or something. Yeah. But I hope everything I do in my life, you know, that I'm that kind of model for my son. So
that's awesome.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's what I want. Just to show her, if you want something, you gotta work hard. Nothing gonna be easy for you if you don't do your part. And for jiu-jitsu, like, I'm so afraid of her not liking, because she had no option. She's gonna train. Yeah, she's gonna train.
You like it or not?
Like, just she needs to go to school and get her grade. She needs to do jiu-jitsu. If she doesn't want to compete, I'm totally fine with. But jiu-jitsu for women, it's so important. You know, guys, like, not being sexist, but it is. When you're born a guy, you kind of know how to push each other. You know, like, you know how to point. You don't need to go to train to find a way to do that. You know, it's natural. And I think for female, we always a target. So I don't want my daughter be a victim. I want her to train, to know enough to stand up by herself and protect herself. That's my main, like, goal and flag. She knows if I'm not there, if someone is not there, she knows how to take care of herself with self-defense, with jiu-jitsu. That's my main goal. That's why, like, she had no option. Oh, I don't like jiu-jitsu. I don't care. You go train. Not right now. I never taught her anything. She at the gym and she run on the mat with the kids on the kids class. She does like hip skate and stuff. She thinks she's doing push-ups, but I don't make her do it. When she's older, for sure. Now she plays, but when she's around 5, 6 years old, she had to train. And then when she got her black belt, I'm just kidding. She can stop. That's my husband said she only gonna be able to stop when she gets the black belt. I'm not that bad, you know. I just want her to know enough to protect herself, and use the example, like Sarah said, of my hard work and dad's hard work to put her or whatever she wants to do it, whatever stuff she want to do it, even other sport. I want to support her, but jiu-jitsu is gonna be just like school. You have to.
Yeah,
for sure. Can I jump in, Karen? I think that's awesome. I equate it to like teaching my son how to swim. Like, my son's gonna learn how to swim, right? He might fall into water one day. He might not go to the edge. So I think it's awesome. You know, what your standard of being able to be, you know, good enough to, you know, defend yourself, that's fine. You got to figure out where that is for your family. Yeah. But yeah, my son too. It's like, yeah, he can do whatever he wants, but yes, he's gonna do jiu-jitsu. You know, whether it's 2 days a week, 1 day a week, whatever level he grows at, that's his level. But I think that's really cool. And you think of, you know, for your daughter, but I have my son and I'm thinking the exact same thing. Like, I don't have a different perspective on it. So it's really, really neat.
See? Yes, because we have been there. We know the importance. We're going to be hypocrite if we don't do that, because that's what I tell all parents. Please put your kids in jiu-jitsu so they're not going to be a bully, because they know how to defend. They know the importance of respecting each other. They know it. They push how they're going to hurt each other. You know, this kind of stuff. Now, like Sarah said, it doesn't matter if it's a boy or girl. They need that. Yeah. Because we are there on the mat teaching. How can I not do that with my own daughter?
Yeah. And same in our household. I mean, we have, my husband's a black belt. My older son's a black belt. I'm a black belt. There's like no way out of doing jiu-jitsu. And same thing, you know, my husband's like, she doesn't have to compete. She doesn't have to be a world champion like her brother. She just needs to train, and she's going to train. whether she likes it or not. And she always gonna have the option. Okay, she wants to do ballet. Okay, she can do ballet, but she's also gonna do jujitsu. So there's no way out of it. And I think that's something that sometimes parents, and I'm not saying like don't give your kids the option to try different things, but I think it's important for parents to teach their kids to stick to something, you know, because like as a gym owner, I've seen so many kids come and go, really good kids, and then oh, they got bored, they want to do baseball now, or oh, they're gonna try soccer, oh, they're gonna try this, and that's fine. Like, you know, my kids have done tennis, soccer, baseball, basketball. They've tried all different sports, but the one thing that they've always stuck to is jujitsu. And like my 14-year-old, he's at the age where like he's like, well, I don't want to do this. I don't want, and I'm like, well, too bad. You're still gonna train. He's like, oh, I don't want this to be like my career, like my brother. I'm like, that's fine, but you're still gonna train every day until you get your black belt. And he's like, and now he's starting to get good. So he went from having like a really poopy attitude, like, oh, I don't want to train. Like, this is boring. Like, I don't want to be like you guys. And to like, now that he's 14, he's starting to like grow a little bit, you know, going through puberty, and he's like tapping out some of the like adults. Now he's a little bit more motivated. And I'm like, and that's kind of what happened to my older son, Roberto. So like he started when he was 5. And it was just never an option to quit. And he kept on, and he was bad. Like people are like, he's a prodigy. He's not a prodigy. Because prodigies are like, you've trained for 2 years and then you beat everybody up. Where Alberto's not a prodigy. He started at 5 and he trained, competed, and he would just lose and lose and lose. And he just kept at it and kept at it. And Raul, my husband, would be like, you're going to do the tournament this week. And be like, he's like, you get all, and Raul was like, I don't care. You're going to do it. And so he'd go in there, and then like one day it just like snapped. And so people are like, oh, the prodigy. I'm like, he's not a prodigy. He just worked really hard, and we never let him quit. Like we didn't let him quit. And so that's when he talks about like, you know, kids are like, oh, Roberto, how do you do it? He's like, he never quit. Like he just kept at it. And I think if you put that into anything, whether it be jujitsu, or being a doctor, or being anything, if you never quit and put 100% effort in it. And as a parent, like just being a woman in jujitsu, like you guys have gyms, you've seen how many women come and go. Most women get their blue belt and then they're out the door. You know, it's a small amount of women that like start, oh, purple. Okay, now I got my brown belt, you know? So I feel that like as women black belts, we give the encouragement to other women and our children to not to quit and just keep at it, you know?
That's fair. So I want to thank you guys for participating in this really important discussion. I think it's relevant to so many women who are training in jiu-jitsu. Sarah, I want to give it to you. I know you've written a book about how jiu-jitsu and parenting become a partnership for building well-rounded kids. So kind of tell us about that book.
Perfect. Yeah. So the book is called Strong Blocks. And it's basically looking at the roles of the parent, jiu-jitsu or any sport, but jiu-jitsu is, of course, what I'm using in the book, and the coach, kind of these 3 aspects and how they build things like self-esteem, emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, resiliency, motivation. So all these, you know, buzzwords, keywords, kind of, you know, how all these things fit together. And so, yeah, let me see.
Yeah, let's get a plug there.
Yeah, get a plug.
Nice.
So yeah, blocks, yeah. You can get it on Kindle version, which is a nice, cheaper option, but it does come in paperback on Amazon as well. So yeah, you know, it's very heavy on the parenting side because I think it's the relationship that's so important. You know, I think I'm fooling myself as a coach to think that I have so much weight, you know, on how a child feels about themselves inside. I do think I play a role. I do think I can mess it up. I can be a bully or abusive, you know, and I can really destroy a child for sure. So it's a very powerful role, but the role of the parent is really, I feel like, is what's building it. So I hope there's enough good things, enough helpful things in here for people that they feel like it's worth going and reading. And yeah, thank you guys for letting me talk about it. And yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, ladies. We are done. We made it through. We really appreciate you guys. We appreciate what you do for the women's community, what you do for your local communities as well. So I'm going to say have a good day. And I hope to see you guys on the mat sometime soon.
Thank you, Sharika.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Y'all enjoy your